Hi, and welcome to this quick tool review. This time around we have another interesting product from Vevor. This one really applies well to the machine shop itself. A lot of times I'll just accept the product from them that looks interesting just to see how it functions. Any kind of tool I'm interested in. Sometimes a product I want to see how it's made, so I'll accept it. This one is specifically useful for machinists. So let's open it up and take a look. And it's not what I thought it was. Okay. They were supposed to send me something else, and I was prepared to take a look at it, but this is not that. They had a static phase converter that they said they were going to send me, and I thought arrived, and first thing I thought, well, hey, this thing is really small. You get a 5 horsepower static phase converter this small? That's pretty interesting. But I think they did not send it to me. This is something completely different. This is Diamond Core Drill User Manual. They kind of got their logo on upside down, if you ask me. I mean, you would read it upside up if it was standing, and maybe that's what they intended, but when you go to open it, it's backwards. All right, so this set is designed to work either in your drill motor with this adapter, this 5/8 shank with a hex shank on it, or your angle grinder, which is sort of a unique approach. I've never seen one of these designed to work with your angle grinder. And Vevor is pretty serious about these. They work either wet or dry. They're corrosion resistant. I think that's via paint rather than the metal they're made out of, because they look kind of like they're made out of a heavy gauge steel, but I don't know for sure. And they so work wet or dry. And the price is 99 bucks. Now, a really high-end diamond blade could be, one of these could be $100 all by itself. So this kit could potentially be a great deal. If the diamonds stay put and don't come off, you could be really handy. And I like the fact they include a chamfer bit that you could go and clean up something after you're done. So this is designed for tile and ceramics to cut right through. I suppose it would even work on concrete, but designed specifically for tiles. It even comes with an angle grinder diamond insert that's part of this kit. They have a bunch of variations on this kit, which could be really handy if you're looking to do some of that work. Come in a variety of sizes here. We have 38 millimeter, 35 millimeter, 25 millimeter, 50 millimeter, and 65 millimeter hole saws. The diamond grit is pretty pervasive on there. There's a lot of it, both inside and out on the edges. I wonder how well it'll last. Here's a close-up for you of the big one. And then they've got these contouring bits. That's what I'm guessing they're for, if you want to work over the edges. Oh, that's really interesting. There's sort of wax plugged in the end. I wonder why that is. Also, this side too. So maybe these are hollow, and the wax was to stop liquid from going back and getting on your angle mode. If you decide to use this on an angle grinder, that wax probably essential to keep liquid from going back towards your angle grinder. That could be really serious and probably not a good thing. This one is hollow all the way through, and they didn't fill it with wax, so I'm not quite sure. Maybe this is to work with some other cutter that injects liquid through here. That's an interesting design. Yeah, the rest of these have holes, and that's all the way through. If you use this wet, be careful using with your angle grinder. Angle grinders are not designed to expect wet situations, at least none that I've seen. Just check out the fit. Here's my DeWalt. This is a 20 volt, I don't know the model number, let's see, DCG 415, and it's battery powered, so very handy. This is one of the neatest tools because you need to do some cut off some metal bits, you know, out in the middle of nowhere. You don't have to drag an extension cord over. Releasing the specific blade is really interesting on this guy. They have 2 Allen keys on the nut here, and you just use a regular Allen key to take it off, which is pretty handy in case you lose that spanner that they normally make. That's spring-loaded. That's a very interesting design for the nut. So, if you were to use one of these guys, First thing they do say is to start it slowly so you can check for balance issues. That's a little disconcerting because you would think that these bits would all be balanced in the factory, and maybe they are. Maybe it doesn't mount right, and that's why they say that. But I don't think you can really start it. Oh, that's very smooth. And they say that when you're going to drill a hole, you put this guy down and you put it at a 15 to 45 degree angle to start, to just get the edge to start to cut a little bit, then straighten it up and go straight in. I'll see if I can find some ceramic to cut. It's going to make one heck of a mess, especially if you do it dry. If you do it wet, I have some definite concerns about what it's going to do to your angle grinder, so I recommend using an angle grinder you don't care about. Either that or use the drill motor adapter and just keep your drill motor far away from the action. My wife buys these decorative pots that never have a hole in the bottom to drain, and they always need it, and I end up using other diamond cutters to cut through it, or masonry bits. Masonry bits dull quickly. The diamond ones last pretty good. So I'm going to try and start this the way they recommend. Boy, that was a snap. Went through like butter. Cleaned up the hole pretty nicely too. This one had some soil still in it. So this is a pretty clean hole. One comment about the drill bit adapter, it's really nice that they provided it and it would work in a pinch. However, drill motors are not really designed for a lot of radial force. You know, that's like using a drill press as a milling machine. Really wasn't made to do that. I mean, this is designed to punch holes where the force is mostly going tangentially, longitudinally along the shaft. And so radial force, where you're using this tool to like use one of these grinding features to like go like this, that's going to put a lot of force on the bearings that really wasn't designed to hold. So I probably wouldn't recommend doing it other than an emergency. Just a chamfer bit. Trying to do this holding the angle grinder in one hand while, you know, holding the camera in the other. So that was barely pushing, very easy. Here's one of the other bits you can use for opening a hole or adding a slot. Very easy. Diamond grit looks very intact. Just a look at both these cutters, just took a wire brush to them, did not lose any diamond grit at all, and you can get the debris out. And even though it looks like it's loading up, it still cuts very freely with almost no pressure because I wasn't holding it. That was just the weight of the object, and it was still cutting very easily. So pretty impressive. I was wearing safety glasses and wearing a respirator, highly recommended. You do not want to breathe any of those particulates, and you don't want any little pieces to hit you in the eye. The bits were very stable. They didn't wear overly much or at all that I can tell. It just got loaded up with some of the soft ceramic. As a matter of fact, they cut so quickly, I thought they weren't working actually, but they were, and they worked really well. So that was impressive. They did a great job of attaching the diamond grit. I used a stainless steel brush to remove the clogging on it, and you can't really tell where I cut anymore once you clean it off. I can't see any spots where the grit came loose. So they performed extremely well. Now granted, that was only a ceramic pot, but that's the majority of kind of stuff I do. I don't have any tile work to do right now, but they supposedly are very good for that as well. And don't forget, they come with a standard cutoff wheel that'll also work with your angle grinder that's also diamond impregnated. These are pretty big diamond chunks in there. So as a result, the finish would not be super fine, but the cutting action would be very quick. And although it seems to load up, at least visibly, it's not a problem to keep cutting. So it went through the pot faster than I expected. And that was a really quick look at the Vevor Diamond Core Drill User Manual. And I give this one a double thumbs up. It worked better than I expected. The diamond grit stays put. I've had some of the cheap diamond drill abrasive drills before, and the grit comes off the first time you use it. That was not the case here. This wasn't an exhaustive test, and I'm not in the business where I'd use this sort of thing every day. For those people, it would be an interesting test to see how they perform for you. You can also use them wet, which would probably prevent them from loading up so much. That also would be a useful test. I didn't want to do it because I don't have any angle grinders or drill motors I really want to get in that sort of situation. I like the fact that it can either work with an angle grinder or a drill motor. Very handy, all for $100. Double thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Hope you find it useful. Hope to see you next time.